Welcome back. This is Adventures with Dr. Joe. We all use a hand truck now and again. I don't use mine that frequently, and usually when I need it, I find that the tires have deflated, and then I've got to go find the air compressor, hook it up, and pump them up. Also, these are tubeless tires, and one of the tires deflated, and it had a big leak in it, so I needed to actually put a tube inside of it. So one is tubeless and one has got a tube, but they always go flat. They're soft, and boy, if they're soft, this thing is really hard to push. So I wanted an alternative to this, and I think I've got one. These are replacement tires for a hand truck, and they are Runflat. They are solid rubber, and I think they'll make a great substitution, and then we'll never have to look for the air compressor or pump these up again. They have a nice bearing on the inside, which I think is really good, and the diameter fits the hand truck axle, which is a solid steel rod that's been welded to the base and held in place with a washer and a cotter pin. Let's take those original tires off and see if we can replace these. These are the original tires on the hand truck, and again, they're held in place with a cotter pin and a washer. I think we can straighten this cotter pin out. So I've straightened out the cotter pin. We'll just hook one end of the needle nose plier in here and just get that out of there. It's a little bit long. There it is. And now, take off that washer, and that tire comes out. This tire is just a plastic hub on this steel rod, so replacing it with this other tire, which are both, by the way, 10 inches in diameter. That's critical measurement. Let's see how this works. I did make one significant adjustment that I want to share with you. When you look at the tires that came off of this, they have a spindle inside that extends beyond the tire, and that keeps the tire from rubbing on the frame of the hand truck. If we install this new tire with the flange on the outside, it has a nice fit, but the tire then rubs on the frame. So we need to flip it around, and then it won't rub at all. But we have to do something here because we've got a large space between the bearing of the tire and where the cotter pin is. So we can put a bushing in there. We can do something. You can put some washers in there. Washers work well. And we'll put the cotter pin in there, and that is really going to take care of that. I had previously suggested that this spacing here be taken up by a bunch of washers, but boy, that's a waste of washers. So I have a better idea. I'm going to take that cotter pin out again. Take the one washer and this other stack of washers that I put in there, and we're going to fix this by putting in a hose clamp. How simple. That's a way better use of materials. We'll put the washer back on. We'll put that hose clamp on. And we'll just tighten it up. One thing I do want to mention before we do that is that this has a bearing inside of it, but it needs to be lubricated. So I just took some 3-in-1 oil, lubricated inside the bearing, so there's a little lubrication on the axle, but on the outside edge of the bearing, so that part really rotates well. And again, the flange part is inward to prevent the wheel or the tire from rubbing on the frame. And what it did is it gave us too much room here that we have to take up by using either washers, wasteful, or a hose clamp. So we'll put the washer on, we'll put the hose clamp on, and it takes a 6mm hex head to tighten it. And this is all it should need, and we basically saved ourselves 10 5/8" diameter nice thick washers, which will be useful for something else. These hose clamps are made of Chinesium, as you can imagine. They're crappy, but they're good enough for this application. And I don't think, and if you need to change them, you just take them apart. It's simple. There you go. And it's got just a little bit of play, which is what we want. And that's going to be, I think, probably the most cost efficient way to secure that. So by making that one change and getting rid of the cotter pins, by just adding 2 hose clamps, we saved 10 5/8" washers, which we have another use for, and I think we have a very, very usable fix for that. So that's how I'd recommend doing it. Let's take a look and see how well this works now with its new tires. This has trophy rock in it. It's pretty heavy. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Rolls really nicely. And the beauty is you never have to worry about the tire inflation. They're going to stay nice for us, and they roll very freely. And I think this is going to be a great improvement in this hand truck. Again, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Please click like and comment. I answer all the comments, and I appreciate those very much. And as always, stay safe.